What up, bro?
I'm not a pro!
Sorry. We have to go to Altoona so I can get a fuel pump because my fuel pump works on my truck, but it's completely disintegrated on top. I tried to get the fuel lines off last night and they broke right off inside the fuel hoses. That sucks. I did get them out for the most part, but the one has like a metal clip and I got it all bent up because it was just not letting go. I tried to form it back into shape and I hope it works, but it's like, it sucks. How do you feel about it?
I don't know.
She's happy about me spending $300 on another fuel pump.
I'm just ecstatic about that.
Yeah, I'm real happy about it too. And I still had to buy a C-channel piece of steel to go in the frame. Stewie, we're gonna have to cut back on your treats.
Can we ask your dad to use his truck?
No. I can't even get it out of the garage right now. Hey, we gotta cut back on your treats because I gotta fix my truck. He said, he looks like he's... Are you okay? Are you high? Oh. So, we gotta start this video off with a product review. Because I'm gonna try to take it with me if I can hook it up, but I don't have any cigarette outlets in the Civic right now, so I don't know if this is gonna work. So, this company sent me this dash cam, AKASO Trace 1 Pro. And here's what I don't like about these companies now. They ask you if you want to review a product, and you say, yes, I'd love to review your product. They don't give you any, information or anything like that. Then they give you a tracking number and send it out, and then they give you a list of requirements that are required for your video. Why don't you tell me that before you send it? So, I have to have the name and the title, which it should be up there. I gotta go through the requirements again. How to install it, everything that comes with it, and an unboxing. Look, we'll unbox it right now. Okay, get this thing out. Hadouken! And out of here. It comes apart real easy. I looked through this. I was surprised. They give you screen covers that do not fit the camera itself. You have to cut these down. I don't quite understand this whole setup here, but whatever. These are really big screen covers. They don't fit the camera. You gotta cut them. Your quick reference guide. A bunch of sticky pads for your cords. There's a USB cable there. So I should be able to plug it in because I have USB plugs in the Civic coming off the stereo. So, but these keep your cords out of the way. That's kind of nice. Lots of different mounts. Here is the power adapter for a cigarette outlet. What else is there? Yeah, that's a nice thing. The cigarette outlet actually has a USB port in it, so you can still use that to charge other devices. Here is your window mount. It comes with a dash tool to pop dash panels apart. That's pretty nice. A 32 gigabyte micro SD, and the camera itself. It looks like a mini action camera. Is what it looks like, with cameras on both sides. Very light. There's no battery or anything in it, and I haven't actually used this thing yet. So I'm gonna go pop this in the car, and then I gotta get on the road. I'll read you some of the specs for it real quick. It's a dual 1080p, 30 frames per second. It does a single camera. You can do a 2K for 30 frames a second. Starvis night vision, which is pretty decent. It says it can pick up like license plate and stuff at nighttime. It has a Wi-Fi with an app and GPS tracking. The night vision sensors are Sony Stravis front and rear, plus 4 infrared light technology. Yada yada yada. Viewing angles of 340 degrees. And built-in battery can work up to 20 minutes during recording or playback. So I guess it does have a built-in battery. It doesn't feel like it is very light. And it does have speaker on top. But let's throw it in the car. First complaint. They put the power cord. Okay. Well, here's why. The GPS plug. This is what you're supposed to have used. And the GPS is part of that, and it has an angled plug on it. I was just going to use this one, just this plain one, and it doesn't have an angled plug on it. So it hits the mount. It mounts to the windshield. So I can't angle that right because of it. I cannot guarantee you that this is even going to work, since this isn't the right plug that's supposed to go in it, but we'll see. Alright, so don't knock the way I have. This is the only way that worked for me. But the camera is actually really clear. I like it so far. It shows me a little picture of my rear view. I don't know if you can see it. And then around it is my front view. But it's recording right now. So that's pretty neat. I like that. It shows that there's 2 hours and 41 minutes of recording time. And it is recording right now. And I imagine it'll overlap after it fills up. Oh, well, look at that. So we need to change the timer and stuff on it, but I'm not worried about that right now. Also, guys, I do really like this Civic. It's a nice car to drive. It rides nice. Everything works good since I fixed it up. But my question for you guys is, since I'm not using the exhaust cutouts on the M45 because there's no way I get it to pass enhanced inspection, should I put one on this? Comment below. Tell me if I should put the remote exhaust cutout on the Civic. I want to keep the stock exhaust on, but we'll put it in front of the stock exhaust. It's a bad idea. I wanted to come to Harbor Freight, but I brought my wife. I don't recommend this. So Harbor Freight wasn't all that bad. She didn't limit me to my purchases. I got what I needed. So now I have to take her to GNC, which will probably spend just as much, if not more, on.
You never know.
Yep.
I'm not making you spend anything. I'm just browsing. I'm browsing.
Browsing. I found it. Browsing is an expensive experience. Alright guys, so I used this the whole trip. It's not a touchscreen. There are 4 buttons underneath the screen. As you can see, if it focuses on it, I don't know if I can get it to focus on the screen, but it does like the backwards camera and the forwards camera. I have not played back any of my video yet, but I will pull this memory card so I can show you some of the footage from my trip today.
What? That was actually smarter from us.
Yeah, I know.
I don't like that. That was fun. We should have recorded that. What? That was actually smarter from us.
Yeah, I know.
I don't like that. That was fun. We should have recorded that.
It did.
Oh.
It records everything.
Oh. I didn't know what.
Oh yeah, it's got voice and everything.
Oh.
It records sound, both directions.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
See, right there we both are.
Oh, alrighty.
I did notice a really neat feature on this thing. I have it totally unplugged. I have the memory card out of it, but if you had the memory card in it, and it detects a sound or movement, it'll automatically turn on and start recording. Check that out. So like if somebody hits your car while it's parked, you might get them on video. That's pretty sweet. Alright, kitties! My main objective today. I want to get the top of this fuel pump area cleaned up, now it all dried. I did get these two hoses off. I have not successfully got this one off yet. It is like solid. And as you can see, it just busted. Like, they just broke right off because it was so thin. This was the one that was leaking. This one wasn't leaking, but when I tried to get that clip out, it just fell right off. This is the clip that comes out of here. I bent it back to the best of my ability because it was stuck to the hose and would not come off. But I'm going to wire brush the top of that, try to get the top of that hose off, get that area all cleaned out, vacuum that, and then hopefully get the new fuel pump. Right, I got a Delphi fuel pump with a lifetime warranty, limited lifetime warranty. It tells you you're supposed to clean the tank before you use it, whatever. Then I'm also going to try to wire brush and get some of this loose dirt and rust off back in this area. I can't really do much back here yet because I still want to cut that out, and I can't seal any of that yet. I probably will wire brush what I can. And I was knocking off the extra rust on the pipes, and I knocked it all off of here, and it was so thin right there, we knocked a hole in it. So I'm going to have to get this really cleaned up, and I'm going to put a piece of pipe over top of this. I have some pipe here. I'll cut a patch, and weld it in. And then I also have zinc paint, weldable zinc paint. So we'll clean that up. I'll spray it, put that patch over it, weld it in. Then we're going to spray all these other welds that are rusty with the zinc paint. Knock off as much loose rust as we can. I mean, like, man, rubbers are shot. Yeah, this is looking pretty crusty over here, but it's still solid. This is what I was doing last night. Just going around knocking off all the loose rust that I can. I'm replacing this whole support. I called a company that I buy steel off of. They have 5-inch C channel, which is how wide it is right here and on that side. Now this dips down and then comes back up, but there's really no need for that dip. So we're just going to do a 5-inch C channel straight across. We'll cut and weld this to make it fit. I think I might redo my grounds, take that off, clean it up. I'll put it on and maybe spray over it with the zinc primer. And I got a whole bunch of rust converter. And I'm going to do every little spot I can with that, and then go over top of everything else with the fluid film that I have over there. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. So bear with me, time-lapsing. Let's do this. first thing you notice is the old pump sits taller, and there are differences if you look at them. This one looks completely different on the bottom as compared to this. Now, according to the instructions on the box, this is a improved pump that fixes certain issues that the original one had. This is the original fuel pump. 140,000 miles is not hateful. It's still working, but it's rotted out. This one, even though it sits shorter, this one popped up out of the tank about that far after I got it loose. So this one's still going to sit on the bottom of the tank, no problem. Also, looks like everything, all the connectors are saying this is actually longer, because this one only came to probably about right here. But I mean, it's going to work. There should be no issues here. The only worries I have are every one of those connectors having a problem getting them off. I kind of scarred them up some. I'm going to have to see if they seal. Like the metal connector, the clip that's in it, I really bent it up, and I bent it back to the best of my abilities. This I messed up. This one probably was in the best shape out of all of them. This one was like really bent up, and that you can see that clip inside there. That was the one I tried to shape back to its original form. I put all the seals back in, all that stuff. So let's go ahead and throw this pump in. Alright, so everything went in and clicked into place. Whether they seal or not is another question. So, I guess we will I'm going to record this, and hopefully we don't have a camera covered in fuel when we're done. Oh yes! Nothing like burning oil to wake you up in the evening. Alright, so I started taking a screwdriver and picking the areas that look rusted. A good place to look is right where your fuel tank sits against your frame rails. Dirt collects in there and it rusts your frame right there. So I started picking them out with a screwdriver. They all look halfway decent. That one's a little rusty. The support is fine. It's strong, but I picked everything out that I could. This one, I started picking it out. I'm going to run down to my parents', grab the power washer that my dad has, bring it up here. I get back, I'm going to run over the loose rust with wire brush on everything that I can. I mean, we'll even clean up back here. We'll get all the loose rust. I'm going to spray everything down with the power washer, get this thing as clean as can be, and that's probably where we're going to stop with that today. There's some other little things I want to do in the truck, but getting it power washed is the main thing, because then I want to let it sit and dry out then. The undercoating, I'm doing the top of the power steering, or I'm doing the top of the fuel pump so that this one doesn't rust out. It's supposed to be safe, it's non-toxic, you're supposed to be able to use it on everything. So I'm spraying the top of the fuel pump, getting all of that coated so that this one doesn't rust out like the last one. Yeah, and then I got another pinhole in the exhaust down here I found. I think I can weld it up. And then that one, and I just need to go around and clean everything up. I want this truck to last me for a while, so I'm taking the extra time and effort to go over this whole thing. Then after it's cleaned and dried, I'll try to find any more loose rust that I can. And then after that, I'm going over everything that I see, except for the exhaust. I'm going to use zinc with rust reformer. So now we got that all sprayed down. Gonna take care of some of this crunchiness underneath. Every one of these support beams are crappy. I'm gonna put a face shield on, my gloves. I'm gonna go over all those beams with a wire brush, and then I'm gonna hit it with that rust reformer. And I am also gonna spray the fluid film one, and I'm gonna try it out on this. So we'll see how it works out. I'm going to cover the floor with a drop cloth so that we don't have a huge mess. I had some just some random drop cloth over there, and I'm going to try spraying it. Now I'm only going to be spraying like inside the ones that I can and the outside. So we'll see how this turns out. So thank God it's not calling for rain or anything. I just read the can, and this is a chemically bonding agent. This is not one of those rust converters that instantly turns it black. It comes out clear, and you're supposed to let it sit for 2 to 3 hours. That's when it's dry to the touch, and then it will chemically turn the rust to black and makes it a sandable, paintable surface. And they recommend 2 coatings. So what I'm going to do, this thing's going to sit here in a couple hours. I'm going to come out, put one more coat on. The truck is going to sit outside tonight. They recommend 24 hours for it to cure. So after the second coat, I'm going to let this thing just sit and dry before I do the undercoating. I'm going to do the undercoating on it. I'll do it the next episode because it'll be tomorrow. So we'll do undercoating, and then we'll back the truck back in at that point and get it underneath where we can start doing the same thing to this. Maybe I'll go ahead and cut that cross member out. Got to cut the weld here. We're gonna have to remove the spare tire tube, and then there's a couple welds on each side that need to be cut before we can probably hammer it right out of there. So glad that I'm just going to go ahead and replace it with new metal. Also, I decided I'm just going to go ahead and replace parts of the exhaust here. I'm not going to replace the whole thing. We're going to sleeve it, put a sleeve right here. As you can see, after I started beating on it and everything, right there's a pinhole There's a pinhole in this one. That one is just looking sketchy. So we are going to chop them, put pieces of pipe in, and weld them in. I'll weld them across the top. Then whenever I can get the truck up on the lift, after the bed's back on, then we can weld the underside. I don't want to have any problems with this truck. So I'm not going to go and patch something. I'm going to fix it right now while I have it out. So it looks pretty good now that I cleaned it all up. I will spray rust converter in the bumper and everything too, but yeah, so we're getting the hard things out of the way now. So the oil pan's not going to be easy either. You got to drop the front differential to get it out, but that's still not bad. So guys, if you haven't yet, check out my merch. It's below the video or on the side, depending on which device you're on. I have cheap shirts right now. They are about to go away. I'm not going to raise the prices a lot, but I'm going to change the designs, and the prices are just going to be a little bit different. So if you want to get yourself some cheap unwrecked gear, right now is the time to get it. Also, there will be a link in the description for that dash cam that I reviewed on this video. If you're interested in that, there will be a discount and a link in the description below. So if you like this video, guys, go check out some of my other videos, like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode of Unwrapped.